Welcome back to the MBP movie podcast. Was that an alright welcome, Dan?
Yeah, well, boss. Not as good as your other one, otherwise.
Well, as you can tell, Dan's here with me as always, but we also have a special guest who I feel like I should give him a million nicknames, like like Thingy has in what's he called? Apollo Creed in Rocky IV. Well, a billion nicknames, but I will just introduce him as a good friend and a great podcaster. Welcome everyone, Adam Basciano. Adam, how are you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm doing good. I'm doing very well. It's nice to be on the other end where I can just be the guest and not have to do all the prep work beforehand. It's good.
Well, I was just going to say this is weird because I've never hosted with you, so
yeah,
I co-hosted with you.
Yeah,
I haven't.
It's a different ballgame, but it's fun. It's nice. It's good. It's good to be here. I feel like I'm like this is the only way, at least in the short term, that I'm going to get to the U.S. This is as close as a trip I'll take to the U.K. as it's going to get for a while, so it's good.
Well, if you ever come over, you probably won't come to Leeds, to be honest, but if you ever come over, we'll have to sort something out.
Oh,
and vice versa.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely got to come over here and experience
definitely.
The cold that we have here.
So, Dan, have you been watching out recently? Anything?
Just trying to think. God, not a lot really. I've been playing games. You see, I played Saints Row 3, completed that. I'm now playing Saints Row 4. I've nearly finished that, so that's taken up most of my time.
And how many Saints Rows are there?
There's 4 altogether.
All right, okay.
But the 4th one links into the others as well, so it's better if you've actually played them all. When I've only played 3 and a bit of 2 and 3 and 4.
All right. Gosh.
Yeah, the latest one links back to that, the second one and the third one, and even the first one. So it's, if you've played them all apart from 4, get 4 played.
All right, cool. You ever played those games, Adam?
I never have. A friend of mine has, and he enjoys them, but I've never played. For me, there's 3 kinds of games I play. It's either the Batman Arkham games. If there's a Ninja Turtles game, which is pertinent for what we're talking about today, or if it's a hockey game because I'm Canadian and have to go with the stereotypes. So those are the 3 games I play, and that's about it. But if I had more time, I would. I'd also like to play that. I know this is sacrilege coming from me, but the Spider-Man, the PS4 game. I'd like to play that, but that would require me to buy a PS4 and I have an Xbox. So to buy it, no heckling the guest. But if to buy the system for 1 game, I think it's a little bit much. So
there's loads of games on PS4. Loads of them.
I know. I may bite the bullet eventually, so we'll see.
Well, that actually, it's funny you mentioned Spider-Man because me and my son have been watching Spectacular Spider-Man, the animated series.
Yeah, that's a good show, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? But he was actually asking for more Spider-Man this morning, which shocked me because normally he's asking for Batman.
Well, don't change his leaning now. You were doing so good with the parenting thing. don't screw it up now,
Well, he won't say the word Superman. He'll say Aquaman, Spider-Man, and I go, "Who's this?" Toy Superman. He goes, "Batman."
Yeah, I think he's just playing with you on purpose.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah. So, have you been watching anything interesting, Adam, recently?
Watching stuff. I've obviously because of my the superheroes and sci-fi podcast. I've been watching a lot of Roswell, the reboot series on the CW.
Any good?
It's actually very good. They're actually
good.
They're going in different directions than the original series. Mm-hmm. So I think if you're going to reboot something, that's the way to do it. Don't make the exact same thing again. So they're doing it differently, and it's a lot of twists and turns. And then I'm watching the other show that we cover, Project Blue Book on History Channel. You guys are supposed to get it. I read something about Sky, one of that.
Yeah, it will be Sky, yeah.
Picking it up, but that's a really interesting show. So,
what's the premise of that show?
So basically, in the 40s and 50s, the U.S. would have a investigatory board that would investigate UFOs and such cases, and so they brought in this professor, J. Allen Hynek. So basically, all the cases that they cover are from actual notes and cases that were legitimate. And
that sounds quite good.
And so that it's very interesting. It's not, and the cool thing is, it's actually like a show. It's not like a documentary where you have a bunch of stuffy old people talking. It's like with actors and stuff. So but it's based on those real cases, and it's very interesting.
That does sound interesting. I might have to check that out then when that comes on.
It's like retro X-Files. If I had to describe it.
I've just actually remembered. I finished off season 3 of The Good Place on Netflix. I'd highly recommend watching that.
That was the comedy.
Really good. It's basically about 4 people who die and they end up in what they call the good place. It's all about how they go in there because she's basically died and I think she's somebody else, so she ain't meant to be there really. So it's about her trying to stay in there. But I don't want to say much more on that, but I would honestly.
So is it like purgatory or is that where they are? Or
No, it's meant to be heaven, the good place.
Oh, okay.
So she's supposed to be in hell.
Yeah, they call it. They just call it the bad place, but yeah,
we know what it is.
Because in Lost, weren't they in purgatory? Or am I spoiling the ending of Lost?
I think they were. Yeah.
I think you are, but we watched.
It was only on like 20 years ago.
We watched.
I'm still bitter about it. All right.
We watched Life on Mars, which went into Ashes to Ashes, didn't it? And it had the exact same ending.
Yeah, it wasn't
Lost.
that one.
So once I found that out, I was like, "There's no point watching Lost now."
No. So right, I'll just mention one. I watched Bumblebee recently, and I absolutely loved it. And I've talked to you about Adamant. I watched it, and for me, the best Transformers movie. I don't know if you'd agree or disagree or.
Oh, hands down, I agree with you.
I don't think Ryan did he?
No, Ryan's not a fan. He's very much a fan of the Michael Bay films, so he was not happy that they have now they've announced that it's a
it was pretty obvious anyway, wasn't it? Really,
it was, but I feel like they were high hedging their bets. They're like, okay, if this tanks, we'll just say it's part of the other ones, and if it does well, it's a reboot. Kind of like DC's doing with Aquaman and all the solos. They're like, Justice League, but shh, no.
See, I think people forget how good the first Transformers is, though. It's such a good film,
really
that.
Oh yeah, I mean the first one was. I mean, look, to varying degrees. Once you come to the expectation of what you're getting, you can enjoy every single other one, and to a degree I do. But that first one, like, it was really solid, and I thought
it knocked it out of the park, didn't he? The first one.
Visually, Michael Bay was the right guy to handle that, and so. Look, I'm not going to dog on the other ones. I just think that being a fan of the original cartoon, as I was, that Cybertron sequence, I mean, what was it, 5-10 minutes worth of film?
Yeah. But
it reminded me so much of obviously it's not the same, but you'll get what I'm saying. It reminded me a lot of the Krypton sequence in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Which I loved. So,
I mean, you haven't seen it yet, have you, Dan? But I'm sure when you see it, you'll agree with us.
Oh, you got to watch it then.
Yeah, I'll definitely. One of them. Once it's on Sky, I'll give it a watch. But I always loved the first one. I thought the second one was a bit of a letdown. The third one I thought was better than the second one, but still not as good as the first one. And after that, it's kind of like I don't. How many have they made?
Got 5 on there.
5.
This is the 6th one, isn't it? Yeah.
Michael Bay made 5 of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would agree with your assessment of the second one. There were too many stupid. Like, I liked the scope of it, and Egypt, and they went around the world and all that. But there were too many little things that were ridiculous. But the cool thing
in a Michael Bay movie.
I'm a shark. But hey, I like Bad Boys. There's that.
Oh, great film. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's funny about the Transformers franchise, and I'm going to do this. I don't know what to call you, Bob, Steven, because I call you both. So you're going to have you're going to have a what's it called, the dissociative identity disorder. But the cool thing about that franchise, both of them it has 2 of my multiverse wives. Megan Fox, which is Earth 3, and Haley Steinfeld is Earth 12. So,
all right.
I love how you remember which Earth it is.
I think after 12, I've lost count. Like, I'm now. I've told your brother online. I'm now making a list. Like, I'm actually trying to sort which Earth, who belongs to which Earth, and it's a lot more difficult than I've been able to put it. A lot more difficult than I thought it would be. So yeah.
You need a chart. That's what you need, like a big wall chart.
I need one of those things. Like, remember when I don't know if you guys read it. I think it was Multiversity by Grant Morrison. He had he had the map of the multiverse.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I need one of those. Just
Just pictures of wives on Earth.
Yeah. I'm gonna get the artist that did my comic maybe to draw them out. So.
Right, from there then, shall we jump into the news and chit chat, as I'll call it? That's good. That's the new name for it. Just for this week.
News and chit chat. I like that.
So first thing I want to do, I ran a poll because there was a lot of Henry Cavill stuff, wasn't there? Like he'd filmed a secret cameo in Shazam, and then it was debunked, and then it was like, no, it is true, and it was all a bit all over the place. You don't know who to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ran a poll on the Twitter page. And I am sorry, I'm just struggling to find it. I found it. Right. So all it was I just asked, when do you think we'll next see Superman in the movies? And I didn't include Shazam in that because there probably is going to be a cameo that's a faceless cameo, if anything. So the answers were the Supergirl movie, a Superman solo or other, which people could specify. Someone did suggest in other Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam. Now, I could see that happening, but I'm of the mindset that I think we'll next see Superman like properly in a Superman solo. But Adam, what do you think? Do you think we'll next see Superman?
Well,
actually, can I ask? Sorry, and do you think it'll be Henry Cavill?
Okay, so you're making it double difficult here. Okay.
And say something that's going to annoy the Snyder fans.
Well, it seems like anything I say isn't good annoys people. So what the hell?
And you can tweet Adam at.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll just have a block party. I've been doing that lately. But I think there's a chance we'll see Superman in Supergirl.
Okay.
Properly, I'd like to see him before I leave this mortal plane. I'd like to see another solo Superman movie. So anytime between now and then would be nice. Will it be Cavill? Oh God.
I'm putting you on the spot now.
All right.
You're not allowed to sit on the fence.
I know how much you love him, and I know how much Man of Steel is your favorite Superman movie. It's mine too, by the way. So I'm gonna be hopeful. Even my heart is telling me it'll be Cavill.
Yeah.
So I'll say yes.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that. So, Dan, what do you say?
I'm always there's no smoke without fire, kind of guy, and there's a lot of smoke being blown around at the minute. And just little tweets from Henry Cavill as well seem to be timed kind of strangely with that Shazam cameo rumor coming out as well. It seems to all fall around the same time.
Well, I'd say re-emerging because it was out. It was been out a while.
Right, okay.
So maybe I
didn't know.
There's been more smoke, I'd say.
No.
Well, it just meant. Well, yeah, maybe not the case, but I was thinking because I thought it was new. Maybe it's a clever idea, from him and Warner Brothers to say, see what the fans think. Do they really want him? From Warner Brothers' kind of view.
Yeah.
In terms of when you'll see him next, I don't know because I don't really know what the plan is for DC. I'm not clued up on.
Well, it sounds like Supergirl is going to be the next Superman-related film, if you don't include Super Pets.
I don't because it's animated and it's probably that Teen Titans Go ridiculousness. So no,
I like that.
I don't count it.
So you want including Shazam in this poll?
No, because I think with Shazam, it sounds like there's going to be some sort of Superman cameo. But I thought beyond that, when do you think we'll next see him?
Yeah, well, I don't see how you can sort of bring Supergirl to Earth and not have a connection to Superman. She was supposed to arrive before him for a start off, and then she arrives after. So you'd think it's got to kind of tie that in somewhere. Yeah. So I would expect that's the one for me.
So you think Supergirl?
Yeah.
That's my answer. I think Supergirl, but I think it could be another faceless cameo, if I'm being honest.
Well, the good thing is they have time. Like, look, the good thing is, if they're talking now, or post Shazam, they're going to start talking whatever. They have time between now and then to work out a deal, and before Supergirl could be filming and could be at the end of filming, and they could bring him in and shoot a cameo. So they have time.
True. Yeah.
They have time to work this thing out. So my thing is this, because it's frustrating that get something done one way or the other. So sit down in a room, take one last crack at it. Either there's a deal to be made or not, and if not, let's move along and try something else. But make a decision. Like, I don't want to go through another 2-3 year back and forth like we did with Affleck. Is he in? Is he out? Is he in? Is he out? That was ridiculous. So
it was. Yeah.
Sit in the room. Either make a deal or don't make. Hire. I don't know if you guys know. Hire Howie Mandel to let deal or no deal. Have him host and make a big stick. Put it on DC Universe. I don't give a rat's ass. Just get it done. Like it's frustrating.
See, and I think they should get Travis Knight to direct it as well.
Oh yeah, I'm down with that. Oh yeah.
So the poll anyway, it only got 97 votes, but Superman Solo won out with 58%, and there was 32% Supergirl and 10% other. But I don't know if people misunderstood and were voting what they wanted rather than what they think. You do get idiots on Twitter that do stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
So that was just that was it for that bit anyway. Next bit, sticking to Superman. Did you both see this Michael B. Jordan interview?
I did.
Yes. I didn't see it, but I heard about him saying something about.
I really liked that he basically came out and said, "Look, I'm not right for Clark Kent Superman, but I could play the other Superman, which is Calvin Ellis." And then Adam, didn't you suggest another one? I don't think I've heard of that one though.
Yeah, there during the New 52 there was a book called Earth 2.
Yeah.
And on that Earth, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman all died. And there was a big event. I think it was Darkseid or Steppenwolf or somebody like that.
Yeah, I think it's Steppenwolf, isn't it? Yeah.
That's where Warner Brothers got their fascination with Steppenwolf. I'm convinced. they saw that book and they're like, "Aha! That's the one we use." And so they died, and then what you had was basically younger or modern day versions of the JSA characters, basically be the super team, right? But along the way they meet a character, Val Zod, who is the son of, shockingly, General Zod. And
what?
I know, with a name like that, who would have thought? And he takes up the mantle of Superman in that universe on that Earth. And so I think that could be an option for him to play as well. Sure, they could do the Calvin Ellis.
Yeah, that'd be my preference, to be honest.
But they could also do the Val, the Val Zod one.
But I was just thinking, if this Joker film does well, and they want to branch out this, are they calling it DC Black? Is that right?
Apparently, it's supposed to be called DC. That's what I heard a while ago, but they've never come
out officially. No.
I mean, the first time we're going to get probably any confirmation is when we see the trailer for Joker. There's going to be a logo. Yeah. Hey, there, that's what it's called.
I just think it'd be interesting, because if that does well, you've got to imagine they're going to start. They might stick with, because I don't think it's got a massive budget, has it, Joker?
No, it's good.
But if they keep doing well, they'll probably think, well, we'll put more money into it.
The figure I heard is $55 million.
Right.
So
okay.
That's
So do they get to a point after like 2 or 3 Elseworlds film or DC Black Label films, then do they think, right, let's go bigger, and then they call Michael B. Jordan and they say about that Superman thing?
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, first of all, he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, just by his comments on that show, I'm like, damn it, he's one of us. He like the fact that he could pull that and start talking about that as eloquently as he did. I'm like, okay, he's not just pulling it out of his rear end. He actually knows what he's talking about. And so for those 2 reasons, I get him. And also, look, to me, again, it just frustrates me. There's no reason why you could not do a Superman movie in the budget range of $120 to $145 million.
Yeah.
And so, why not? And think about it. If you get Michael B. Jordan, imagine the conversation that's going to start from like non-superhero fans, just moviegoers. I think this is going to piss off a lot of people, and maybe you as well. But here it is. I think a Superman movie with Michael B. Jordan, even though it's the Elseworld Superman, could make more money than the Superman movies with Henry Cavill so far.
I actually agree with you. And I think as well, if they really sell it that it's this Elseworlds concept, you know, that'll obviously make the Superman fans who are going to moan, like, oh, why isn't Superman so-and-so, right?
That's a good imitation.
It'll make those think, well, actually, this is an Elseworlds thing. This is all right. Although some will probably still moan because if we get it before we got another solo Superman with Clark Kent, they'll probably be like, well, don't they need to sort that one out? But for me, I'm just like, I'm quite interested in the Elseworlds concept.
Yeah. Hey, some of the best comic stories are Elseworlds, so why not?
Yeah, well, Red Sun, a big example. So, what do you think, Dan, about this?
Sorry, I was replying to a comment on YouTube. I missed that.
Oh, look at that. At least you're honest. Well, what do you think to the whole Michael B. Jordan as an Elseworld Superman?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I was listening to that bit. Why not?
Why you up for it then? Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, you know, we've seen, we're sort of in a bit of a sticky point, I think, with Superman now.
Yeah.
So I'm up for it. I mean, I really enjoyed.
When I actually take my hat off that I want a new Superman film and actually look objectively, I have so much Superman content with Clark Kent Superman.
Yeah.
It's almost like, well, why not try something different? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think especially as well if Cavill doesn't sign up and they're not sure what to do, then why not just have a break from your normal everyday Superman and just do something different with it?
Yeah. And Michael B. Jordan sounds like he wants to do it, so.
Yeah, he was definitely keen on it when he interviewed me.
I thought Oprah Winfrey's responses were funny though, because she was just kind of like, I don't know.
She had no clue and she admitted it, which is good.
Yeah.
What did she say? Sorry, I didn't.
He sort of said basically like he started talking about Calvin Ellis and mentioned as soon as he said Earth 2, she goes, I won't show whether to go with you or just say I don't know what you're talking about, and she basically went, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but it's good that she did that because there are people with YouTube channels, Grace Randolph, who have no idea what she's talking about, and she acts like she's talking about, and she knows what she's talking about. So I'd rather Oprah say, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah. Right, shall we move on? Last bit of DC news. Well, I say news, it's not really news. So, Armie Hammer Batman, let's just go for it. Is it going to happen, Adam?
Well, look, I'll say this. Mario at Revenge of the Fans was the one who posted the exclusive. I know Mario. Obviously, I'm a part of Revenge of the Fans, so I know Mario. I've talked to Mario. What I can say is Mario would not post that without trusting the information from his sources. And if you listen to his latest podcast, he had 3 people, sort of his main source and 2 other sources, sort of say that this was the negotiations were happening. So I believe that he's 100%. He believes that in what his sources are telling him. That plus the guys over now, they're not saying whether he is or isn't, but they've been dropping hints for the last 2 weeks. The guys over at Batman on Film, little pictures of Armie Hammer, tweets suggesting, referencing Armie Hammer.
Well, didn't he post one today or yesterday?
He did, and I retweeted it.
Yeah.
So where, again, like your brother said with Henry Cavill, where there's smoke, there's fire. And yeah, sure, you could say Armie Hammer denied it to the media. Well, that's great, but remember
with a huge smile on his face.
Yeah, remember when Jason Momoa said, "I'm not Aquaman. That's just a rumor. If I'm Aquaman, you can punch me in the face." He said that.
And Ben Affleck said he was directing the Batman.
Yeah, and remember when Affleck said, and I quote, I'm not going to say the expletive, but he said, I'd be an ape on the effing ground for Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
And here we are, and he's not going to be Batman or an ape. Or maybe we'll cast him as Gorilla Grodd. I don't know.
Hey, he hadn't ruled himself out as an ape, so you can't say that.
Yeah, maybe Gorilla Grodd. Yeah. In the Flash movie that we're probably never going to get. But anyway, do I think it's going to happen? I'm gonna stand with Mary on this one. I say yes.
Yeah. I 100% think it's going to happen. I'll tell you to the bank. What do you think, Dan? Are you?
When I saw the pictures of him, he was the one I thought he looks the most like Batman.
Well, did you know he'd already been cast as Batman before?
No.
In Justice League Mortal, that didn't happen because there were problems with the writer's strike and the tax incentive and stuff. He was cast as Batman in that film, so he's on Warner Brothers' radar. Because it happened to Henry Cavill as well, didn't it? He was circling around Superman for years.
Yeah, but you got to remember that's what they do. They test all these guys.
Yeah.
They do something else, and then they come back around, right? So when you don't get it the first time, that's the CW does it all the time with their actors. I mean, every show they've recycled actors from years ago.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's a Warner Brothers staple. But I'll tell you this, and I'm not a stickler for height or this and that, because look, Michael Keaton, to me, when Michael Keaton did the role and what he did with the Batman role, once Michael Keaton did that, the height argument goes out the window. Okay?
Yeah.
Forget about it. But to me, he's got the look. He not only does he have the look, but he's got the acting chops. And like you said, he was cast as Batman before, and he was gutted that it got pulled.
And have you seen an interview where he's talking about the suit to somebody?
Yeah,
he's really excited, isn't he?
Yeah, and he seemed very devastated by the fact that it didn't happen. So I think he's going to get it. I hope he gets it. And I've said this on Twitter, so I'll say this live on the show, that if he gets cast, if Mario's report is right and he gets cast, I'm going to change the theme for Tales from the DC Multiverse, the podcast, to "You Can't Touch This" by MC Hammer, because I believe it's #Hammer time at the Batcave. Let's go.
Yeah, so that's one we'll have to keep an eye on. But and to be honest with you, if he don't end up getting cast, I don't mean the report was wrong either, because the report just said he was in the negotiations. So he might turn around in a couple of years and say, "Oh yeah, that nearly did happen, but it didn't work out." And then somebody will be like, "Well, and you're all having a go at Mario."
Yeah, well, the internet's ridiculous. These people.
Well, yeah. And there was a certain guy who was another scooper, and I was wanting to swear at him and say all sorts to him after, because that was disgusting what he said to, and he's one of his peers. You know what I mean? They should have each other's backs. These guys.
Why would they have respect for each other? Come on, that's common decency. What for? It's the internet. We don't need any of that. Let's just insult everybody.
Right. So moving on from DC, Masters of the Universe. I saw something about it saying filming dates in Prague.
Yeah.
Is this true?
Well, it's coming from a reputable source that reports on this stuff. So I mean, sounds like it's gonna.
Is there a director attached and stuff?
Yeah, there's two. It's a brother directing duo, kind of like you and Dan. You and Dan should. I guess.
ESOs, we're announcing we are making Masters of the Universe, and Adam's playing He-Man.
And you thought Dolph Lundgren was bad.
I gotta start working out if that's the case. But no, I can't remember their names, but they are a directing duo. They're brothers, and they've been on board for a little while now.
Right. Okay.
And recently, it was announced. Now, that doesn't mean they just got the job, but I think 2-3 months ago, I think it was announced that the writers of the first Iron Man movie and the upcoming Men in Black International were writing it. So, they say from, I think it's July 15th.
Yeah, I've got the dates, July 15th to October 18th.
Yeah. So casting's going to start pretty soon here, you'd think.
So, who are you thinking for He-Man? Chris Hemsworth?
I mean, he's already playing Hulk Hogan.
He won't do it now, I don't think.
He's playing Hulk Hogan for Netflix, so.
Well, that's on my news, actually. Thanks for ruining it.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
Should have told me what the news was, damn it. No, okay. I have two schools of thought here. If let's keep within the Helmsworth family. Why not? Because there's 12. Cast his brother Liam.
That's my choice. Yeah,
that's one choice. Or have you guys seen Creed 2?
No, unfortunately not.
We're supposed to be watching it and reviewing it.
Keep it in the Lundgren family.
Yes, cast Ivan Drago's son from look, all you gotta do is grow his hair. Like, the guy's built like a horse. just grow his hair out, dye it blonde, shave his beard, and you got He-Man.
You don't need much to get He-Man, let's face it.
So, I love the franchise. All right, I absolutely love it.
Me too, yeah.
If you guys want me to come back, I'll come back and we'll do a He-Man retrospective.
Yeah.
Not just the movie. We'll do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do the show, the cartoon, everything, the whole 9 yards. But anyway, so I love the property, but let's not. Who are we kidding here? You don't need a Shakespearean thespian to play He-Man, right? And so to me, the only look, I never. So those are my 2 choices for He-Man. I'm going to give you some Skeletor options if I can.
Yeah, go on.
So my first choice is bring back Frank Langella because screw it, he was fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
If that's not an option, number 2 would be what's his name? The guy that played Sinestro in Green Lantern. He's playing
Mark Strong.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Him. Because he's always playing the villain. 9 times out of 10, he's playing the villain. So why not? And he's good at it. And I could just imagine him with the cloak and the whole thing and the voice and everything. And if you can't get him, then I would cast. I would say screw Loki and cast Tom Hiddleston.
I could see that. I could really see that.
I think Michael Shannon would be good as Skeletor.
Ooh, that'd be good.
He'd be really good.
Yeah, some good choices there.
Just don't make He-Man snap his neck. That's not good. That would upset people.
And then do a sequel where he fights Thingy from Thundercats.
I'd pay $4 a ticket for that.
He-Man, do you bleed?
As far as I'm concerned, with Master of the Universe, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm still looking at it thinking I don't believe it. It needs to have started filming for me to believe it's going to happen.
Here's why I give it some credence, because apparently Mattel, there was a point where Sony was on the verge of losing the rights to the property, and so before that happened, before that even was a possibility, Mattel was shopping it out to other studios because they were getting fed up with Sony, dragging their heels.
Yeah.
So when Sony came back to the negotiating table to renegotiate, they're basically, Mattel basically told them, put up or shut up, and let's get this going, ASAP. So, so that's why I give it more credence, because Mattel at this point is fed up with the delays and the humming and hawing. So they're ready to go. So I think this time is the one that'll probably get the.
And if they've set dates, that's a good sign.
I mean that means, and they've got their location, so that means they're closer than they've ever been. Let's put it that way.
And I've been to Prague. It's absolutely a beautiful place. So there'll be some.
Do they have any castles that could double for Castle Grayskull?
Weirdly, they did, and there was even a guy who was a skeleton who lived there. Oh no, that was the Snake Mountain. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
Okay. But yeah, so let's hope that goes.
So because I don't like the cat out of the bag, Chris Hemsworth's playing Hulk Hogan in a biopic to be directed by Todd Phillips. So I'm well excited about it. I'm a massive Hulkamania fan. So
same as me. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard it's going to be about the origins of Hulkamania in a sense, all the good stuff, early stuff, and biopics tend to be depressing, so that quite excites me because I can imagine it's going to be quite uplifting.
Yeah. And
I imagine maybe it'll end with either Hogan versus Andre or Hogan versus Savage, maybe, or something like that. Build up the. We'll obviously get a lot of the backstage things up because I know Randy Savage was a bit paranoid, wasn't he, in real life?
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a. Not a feud, but
it was just it was a bit unhinged, wasn't it? And then it makes me think, well, if guys like that are going to be here, who's going to play those characters as well?
Well, I heard a lot of, because the people want, because it's Hemsworth. I heard a lot of people saying Sebastian Stan for Macho Man, and I'm like, here we go. They're just going to port everybody from the MCU over to that.
I don't think I could. Who's going to play Andre the Giant? CGI. Mark Ruffalo, CGI.
The CGI character. No, the CGI Deadpool, the one. What's it called? Colossus. The CGI Colossus is going to play Andre the Giant. No, but I'm fascinated by this. I like you, Stephen, Bob, whatever you want to call yourself.
Just call me Steve Bob.
There you go. I'll just use your Twitter handle. I was a huge Hulkamaniac. I have the rest. I still have to this day. It's one of the few things my mother kept from my childhood, because she gave everything else away to charity and stuff. But which I'm not upset about. I mean, good for charity. Give to the kids that don't have any. I just would have liked to be consulted on what to keep, what not to keep. But she kept the wrestling buddy. Remember the wrestling buddy, the Hulk Hogan wrestling buddy? So I still have that.
Is that the soft toy?
Yeah.
I used to have one, and I got rid of it.
I still have that, and I my friend had the Ultimate Warrior because he had to be a jackass and be contrarian. So,
my favorite wrestler, the Ultimate Warrior.
No, I liked it too, but come on, Hogan, man, it's like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. What the hell,
It's Bret Hart all the way.
Of course, yeah. So no, I was a huge fan, and I had the whole say your prayers, eat your vitamins. Those are perfect. I mean, Hulk Hogan was 2 reasons why I ate vitamins and said prayers.
You didn't start taking stories, did you, when that came out?
I believe the whole. Listen, when I was a kid, remember when he fought the Undertaker and they put him in the casket match? That traumatized me as a kid. That was like, what the hell? And I was always scared of the Undertaker too. It was
yeah.
But no, I used to love wrestling for me from the 80s until The Rock left. Like, I was huge. And like now it's ridiculous because they have no stars.
I don't even know anyone is now.
Nobody has any mic skills. They barely wrestle anymore. But they barely wrestle. Like
and even John Cena's getting out of it, isn't he? 'Cause he's had enough.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I'm going to move. I'm following The Rock. I'm out of here. So no, but from the 80s until like the late 2000s or whatever, the mid 2000s when The Rock left, wrestling was my thing. Superheroes.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
So that was it. Yeah, but I can't wait. Bring it on. And Hemsworth is a good pick.
Yeah. I've been really interested to see how he performs.
Yeah.
So Dan, what do you think? Are you interested in this?
It's one of them where I'm like can't see. I think because Chris Hemsworth is Thor to me. I'm struggling to picture. I get the build and everything. I get it, but
change that beard into a Fu Manchu, and you saw.
I can't imagine him doing that accent. That's what I'm thinking of.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Okay, here's what I want you, Dan. Here's what you got to do. Go back and I know it's painful, but go back and watch one of the Thor movies.
Ethan likes the Thor movies, don't you?
I like the first one, and then after that it was.
But yeah, Thor 1's good. Thor 2's not so good. But I would talk. What's the third one? Is that the
Ragnarok? I love
that.
But...
Yeah, it was basically a comedy, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was my issue is they inserted comedy in the wrong spots, in my opinion. Fair enough. But go back and watch one of those movies, and now with this news in your head, when he's talking to Loki and he calls him brother. Try not to piss your pants laughing. I dare you.
Do you know what? They should redub it with Hulk Hogan's voice.
Actually, when I think about him doing Thor voice,
I'm choking, man. I almost choked on some water with that one. Oh, Christ.
So we're all pretty excited about. Well, me and you, Adam, are pretty excited.
Well, Dan can't picture it, but go rewatch the Thor movie. You'll be able to picture it.
So, last bit of news and chit chat I wanted to touch on was 2 Twitter controversies from the past 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
Well, I say controversies. Well, one's the Aladdin teaser, and I've got to say, some of the memes have been absolutely genius, right?
Yeah.
But Will Smith is the genie. Did you think it looked that bad? Because I was like, I don't think it looks that bad.
No, I don't.
But the memes were hilarious. They were absolutely brilliant.
I don't think it looks that bad at all. I was a bit surprised. I think it's typical Twitter, though, isn't it? It's a massive overreaction.
But there were people putting pictures of it alongside like the Scorpion King in the Mummy 2, and it's like the Scorpion King in Mummy 2 looked like a bad PS1 game.
The thing is, the thing is with that in the Mummy 2, that looked bad when it came out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It looked bad then. Never mind now.
But look, like. To me, it's like Dan's right. It's the first trailer. They're still working on the effects. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They were up until 3 days before the release. They're probably working on effects, right? And you can tell I'm not an effects guru, but I'm pretty sure it's right up until they lock the film. But so to me, like, look, they get Will Smith. What did you expect? It's going to be Will Smith, a blue Will Smith. And
exactly.
He's got the hair, like he's got the hairdo. He's got the little beard thingy. Look, I think it looks fine.
I don't know what people expected, to be honest. What do they want it to look like?
Yeah, I mean,
there's nothing else it could look like. I agree with you though. It doesn't look like it's finished, but I don't even think, even though it don't look like it's finished, it looks bad.
But
it looks alright.
What do people expect? I think the thing is, because some people love the cartoon that much, they can't let go, and they can't see a new version.
What did they want? Like an entirely CGI genie?
I don't know.
Just going back to what Smith's voice, like the guy.
Just going back to what you said, Adam, about them doing effects late. I know Lord of the Rings it were quite late, and I know Peter Jackson before the premiere in that morning was still doing that film.
But see,
some people do, don't they? Yeah. Because I know that.
I don't know if it was effects, but I know he was doing something with the film on the morning it premiered. It might not have been the first one; it could have been the second one or the third one.
I think James won on the lot like Aquaman like a week or two before it came out.
Yeah,
Twitter, didn't he?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so we're basically like, shut up, internet.
Look, I'm gonna look. Here's my take. One of the films there are a couple of Disney films as a child that I enjoyed. Not that I have pictures on my wall or I go on message boards or anything like that. I enjoyed Aladdin and I enjoyed The Lion King. Those were the two. Everything else, it's don't waste my time. But. But it's not like I'm going to watch it. If I like it, it's great. If I don't like it, I'll say it and move on. Like, it's simple as that.
I want live action Disney Hercules because I love that film.
Okay, yes. That's another one I forgot. Because
and it basically is just Superman the movie with Hercules.
Give me anything Hercules. I mean, can you tell? Superman, Hercules, He-Man. Can you see a running theme here? So, give me anything Hercules. And I'm like, I even like the Kevin Sorbo show. Sue me. But anyway, no. But it looks. When I watch the trailers, I think, all right, that's Aladdin, that's the genie. I mean, but you're right. To me, the winner of the meme award, if we're giving one, would be the Suicide Squad one. That was
the Bluicide Squad.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that one maybe I would cry. There were some good Thanos ones as well.
There's some good Avatar ones as well.
Yeah, honestly, do you know what? I think as well, you get people who if it's something they love, they get really upset about memes. But just have a laugh and enjoy them. Even if you like what the ticket mick out of, just enjoy them because the memes for that were absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add a bit to your news section.
All right. Can I just finish my second controversy first?
Yeah. Go on. Sorry, I thought we were finished.
No. I said two controversies, Dan. Two controversies.
Twitter is a controversy. The whole thing is a controversy.
Yeah.
So, have you all seen this Captain Marvel thing where she pulls that face and she goes like, with like a tongue out of her? Yeah. Right. That was fun. I thought it was funny, right?
I thought it was funny.
I do think it was a bit daft at the same time, but I think the internet went a bit crazy about it. We're seeing it out of context for a start. We don't know what's happening in that scene. Maybe the tone of that scene is allowing that moment to happen, but I don't know. What do you guys just think of that whole thing?
Is it me with this as well, or does there seem to be a bit of an anti Captain Marvel thing going on especially on Twitter?
Big time, yeah.
But I don't understand why.
You know what it is? It's because it's this whole DC versus Marvel crap. It's stupid.
It's basically DC fans.
Well, not necessarily DC.
No. Can I clarify who it is? Can I tell you? Who it is?
Right, and if you want to tweet Adam,
it's the Snyder holics who can't let it go. I mean, they're comparing it to Man of Steel, and I'm like, what does this have to do with Man of Steel? There's nothing remotely similar, unless she snaps one of the Skrulls' necks. I don't know. But as of right now, there's nothing to correlate Man of Steel and Captain Marvel. They're both a big freaking deal.
See, I'll say for me, I'm not that interested in the film myself. Like, I'm kind of like, I'll watch it, but I don't know if I'm going to go see it. I haven't really decided. Yeah. But I'm not going to go at it and start having a go at it. And some people are like willing it to be bad, and I want to see it, and I want to think, oh, it was better than I thought it was going to be that. Like I did with Doctor Strange, because I didn't want to see Doctor Strange, and when I finally saw it, I really enjoyed it.
But see, I can understand where you're coming from. You're just not finding the promotional materials appealing.
But I'm not picking at Brie Larson or that moment or anything like that. I'm not constantly.
That's a fair criticism.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I'm looking forward to it. So I'll be there opening weekend. But my thing is this: just because of that, like now forget about the couple comments about Man of Steel. Now there's this whole Wonder Woman versus Captain Marvel thing, and look, there are so many people rooting for this thing to fail. I hope it does gangbusters at the box office, just for the fact that I want these people to eat crow. And what are they going to say afterwards? And so, like, to me, if Captain Marvel makes 370 domestically, great. If it makes more than that, great. If it makes $1 billion, fantastic. You know why? Because then it means the majority of people enjoyed themselves. And guess what? When Wonder Woman comes out, the next female-led superhero movie, it's only going to drive up the anticipation for that.
Yeah. Exactly.
If Marvel's successful, DC becomes successful. If DC is successful, it benefits Marvel. And off with the BS, people. Like, come on. Like, what is this, WWE versus WCW? Like, get over it.
See, I used to love
showing your age there, Adam. Showing your age there, WCW.
Yeah. See, I used to love both of those as well. I used to watch them both.
Exactly. I used to record one and watch it later.
I was like, I've got twice as much wrestling to watch. I used to love it.
That was when it was good, when there was competition.
Yeah.
Now there's things. There's no competition. So my point is, let them both do well, enjoy it, and look. At the end of the day, if you don't want to see it, don't go see it. But stop criticizing. Like, the best thing is Brie Larson is not a good actress, really, because she won an Oscar. Now, Oscars aren't the be-all and end-all, but compared to the 12-year-old sitting on Twitter being a keyboard warrior, criticizing her, she's done a lot more than he has. So that's my argument. Like, just stop with the childish BS.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Bob. It seemed a bit daft, but it was funny at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know the context of it. I mean, and there's comedy in every Marvel movie. If that's done for levity, big deal.
Yeah. And if that's not your thing, don't watch it. That's what I say. Right, Dan, what was your extra bit of news?
To be honest, I can't believe this is news, but I've just seen that. Is it Kevin Feige? Is that how you pronounce it?
Feige, I think you pronounce it.
All right. Well, he's confirmed.
Or is it Feige?
Feige.
Feige.
The North American version is Feige. The English.
All right.
So we got the gamut covered. We're good. We're good.
Well, I am a bit wary of how Americans pronounce stuff because Jason Statham used to get pronounced. I can't remember how you pronounce it.
Like Statham or something.
Yeah, it was totally wrong. Anyway, he just basically confirmed that Black Widow was never going to be R-rated.
I forgot about that.
I don't get why. Well, one, I don't get why that's news. And two, I don't get why anyone would think that.
But you know what, right? I was like, when he said, it goes, Kevin Feige confirms Black Widow is not R-rated. I was like, yeah.
And
it's never going to be, is it? Because if you've got all those Marvel movies, you're going to have fans that are going to want to see that. They're going to young to watching R-rated movies.
It wouldn't have made a lick of sense. It wouldn't have made a lick of sense. From a business perspective, anyway, it wouldn't have made a lick of sense, is what I was going to say.
My thing was this. Look, and I know Disney keeps saying, oh yeah, Deadpool's going to be remain R-rated, R-rated. Look, until I see them do it, I ain't going to believe. It's like you with Masters of the Universe, Dan. Until I see Marvel put out, or Disney put out an R-rated Deadpool, I ain't going to believe it. But I certainly didn't believe that Black Widow was going to be R-rated. I mean, they're going to want this thing to make, lots of millions of dollars. And R-rated, you got all these, one, because she's so tight. Like, look, with Deadpool, if they had the let me use another wrestling term. I think Mankind used to use this term. Testicular fortitude. Who used to use it? Testicular fortitude. That was the term. Anyway, if Marvel but if Marvel has the testicular fortitude to keep Deadpool R-rated, you can, because he's not associated with the Avengers brand.
Yeah.
But Black Widow, is associated with that brand now. That I think you can.
Yeah.
It was never realistic.
No.
And the people that first reported, it could be his first R-rated. Those were some of the people making fun of Mario for his Army Hammer school. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Look who's wrong there. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, shove it up your rectum.
See, when you say it, that sounds polite. If I would have said it would have sounded cool.
It's because I'm British.
Yes, you guys get away with a lot of crap, I'll tell you.
Right then, shall we move on to our main topic of discussion?
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's dive into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Right, so firstly, I wanted to just get what your guys' earliest memories were of the Turtles. So I don't know who wants to go first.
I'll let you go first, Adam, if you want.
All right, sounds good. I first came into it with the animated series. Oddly enough, I think it was 87 until
1996.
Yeah, and so I was in '87. I was 4 years old, which is prime time for this, prime candidate for this. And there are a couple things fascinated me when I first saw it and it wasn't even the fact that they were walking, talking turtles, but because you'd think that would be oh wow, look at this. But no, to me it was the fact that they were doing martial arts was like, oh, that looks cool. I want to do that. And then so there was that, and the fact that they had 4 Italian names. I'm Canadian, but I was born into an Italian family, so that appealed to me. And as a 4-year-old, I didn't correlate the artists, that they were named after, famous Italian artists. To me, they were just they're Italian names. It's cool. And like me, they loved pizza, so I was like, all right. I mean, this got 3 things that I'm on board with, and I got to be honest with you guys. When I decided to start karate, my parents put me in. They did it for benefit, for health, and all that kind of stuff. But me, when I started, I started at 10 years old. 3 things sort of led me to be excited about going. It was either I figured, okay, I'm going to start karate. I'm eventually going to get my black belt, and one of 3 things is going to happen. This was 10-year-old Adam's way of thinking. I'm either going to become A, Batman, B, a Power Ranger, or C, a Ninja Turtle. Those are 3 pretty awesome options, and that's why those were one of the 3 reasons why I joined karate. I got the black belt. None of those happened, but it still worked out. But so the cartoon really started my kick-started my fandom, and then that 1990s movie, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic. I still think it was fantastic, and yeah, it's one of my all-time favorites. So that's really what did it for me. And now it's funny because that started as a comic, the Ninja Turtles property.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
And recently, only in the last couple of years, I've gotten into the comics, and they're phenomenal.
Wow, so, cool. Have you read the older ones?
The originals?
Yeah.
No, but I want to track them down because there was I don't know if you guys, there was a documentary. I can't remember what the name of it's now. I've seen it. I think I have it somewhere, but I can't recall the name of it. Where like the creation of the turtles, it goes through all that and the whole phenomenon of how big they became. I think it was on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
I could have done with that before I recorded.
I should have reminded you that I didn't have it. But anyway, they talk about like it was this homegrown comic, 2 independent creators, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, and how it's funny how how they came up with Shredder, right? You know how they came up with the concept?
No.
Okay, so they had made that night. They had made pizza. Funny, oddly enough, surprise. And so they were doing the dishes, and they were cleaning the cheese shredder, right, for the mozzarella.
All right, yeah.
And from that's where they got the name and the look of Shredder.
That's awesome.
And it was fascinating to me. And I don't know if you guys know this. This was also from the documentary. The original concept of the Ninja Turtles is sort of an offshoot of Daredevil, because if you think about it, it takes place in New York. It's got the martial arts aspect of that Daredevil has. Like the hand was a derivative of the Foot Clan. Daredevil has the hand. The Turtles have the foot. Splinter. Like think about it. So Daredevil's mentor is Stick, right? And what are the connotations when you think of Stick? A wooden thing. And then you have Splinter. Well, what happens when certain times you touch wood, you might get a splinter. So there's a lot of derivatives from Daredevil, and that's where they got all their stuff. So that documentary, if you could track it, I wish I remembered the damn name, but it's got to be on Netflix. That's got to be where I saw it. But if you can track that down, it's a fact.
I'll have to look out for that.
I think it was on Netflix. That I don't know if it still is.
It's a fascinating watch either way, but Yeah, it's. But I want to track those down because they were darker and grittier. So I definitely want to check that out. Those comics.
Cool. Dan, what's your earliest memories?
Well, I think yet again I've let my guest go, and he's just said exactly what I was going to say, but I said it better. But yeah.
What? Yeah, so you were gonna give us the origin of Shredder and
No, I mean, I just mean the cartoon was what I first remember anyway, and that being appealing again, like what Adam said about it, you know, although it was called Hero Turtles over here because we couldn't have ninjas.
Yeah,
it was too extreme for UK to have.
Oh yeah, you guys draw the line at ninjas.
Yeah, apparently it was the word ninja was considered too violent.
Do you think that all came from stuff like? Do you remember? What was the Bruce Lee movie called? And he's got nunchucks because I know that's got a bearing on some of the stuff that's happening in Turtles.
I think so.
That movie, the kids would try to use nunchucks and stuff like that. So
let's just say there were a lot of hospital visits.
That's
I think that's where it came from.
Yeah. That's a good thing about being in karate. I get to use them.
Awesome.
I'd wash myself in face.
Oh, I have. Believe me, I have. And it's not fun, especially depending where you whack yourself. It's not a fun. It's not a fun experience.
Podcasting in a squeaky voice after that.
Yeah, I won't be podcasting for a few days until that.
Could you imagine doing it at the speed of Bruce Lee does it at, but hitting yourself in the face?
Not a chance. That would never happen. No. I'd be dead.
But yeah,
you have a nunchuck as part of your face.
And agreeing with Adam again with the 1990s movie, I thought when I saw it, I still think it's brilliant now. And one of the main reasons is because they took the Turtles seriously.
Yeah.
And it's got quite serious tones in that movie, and it's quite dark. And unfortunately, some parents complained, which is why the second movie.
Well, we're gonna get to that.
We're both trying to ruin his thunder today.
But he didn't tell us exactly what we were doing, did he? So.
Yeah,
it's his fault.
I wanted to make it a surprise.
Well, this is what you get when you surprise people.
Are you done then, Dan?
Yeah. I think Adam basically covered most of what.
Well, I can only think you must have introduced me to Turtles because obviously I'm a bit younger than you. So
one thing I did miss, we had the figures as well, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, I was going to mention that as well.
So did I as well, but those have now since.
I will never forget. I actually wished upon a star to get a Leonardo action figure, and I got it for my birthday that year. So it worked for.
But do you still have it? That's the question.
No, I don't know.
Because I had the see, and it's gonna sound like I'm being a because I'm getting upset over this, but I had the 4 of them. Okay, I had Splinter. I had how they had those sets where you can actually have like the sewer. The sewer.
Oh yeah.
Like the Batcave sets, the same idea.
Yeah.
I had it all, and then one day,
wow!
And one day it disappeared. And listen, my toys used to be I used to play with them, but they used to be in really good condition. Okay, I prided myself on keeping.
They're probably worth some money now.
Yeah, yeah. So one day, I'm cleaning out my things. I had everything in a box, and I remember I said, "Hey Ma, where's my box of the old toys?" Oh, those are long gone. I said, where'd they go? Well, I gave them to the poor, donation. I said, well, don't get me wrong. Again, I'm all for 100%. Give back. Let the poor children who don't have anything. It's good to give them a Christmas. The whole 9 yards. I'm all 100% for that. But could you at least consult? I would have put some aside. I would have said which I want to keep. But she's like, yeah, but you're at this point I was 20-something. She's like, yeah, but you're 20. I'm like. Yeah, but it's called the collectibles. They're not, I didn't want to take them out because I want to play with them. I just wanted to know that they were still there, and but they're gone. But I had everything. It was great.
That was funny. Well, I remember. I remember loads of things like my dad bringing me home turtles cookie to eat from one of places like Greg's or something like that. And I remember getting a foam mask once from my dad as well.
That was that time when he'd been out for ages, hadn't he? And he came home and he were drunk, and my dad didn't really want to drink it. He was drunk and he had these 2 turtle masks, and we were like, "What did you buy us them for?" I went, "Yeah, just thought why not." He would never normally buy us stuff like that.
No. I want his style, right? Yeah.
But we had all the Turtles figures, didn't we, bro? We had, in the 4 Turtles.
Yeah, and we had Shredder as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we had Splinter, definitely. I remember. I think we had Splinter, 2 of him.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
I don't think we ever got Krang or anything like that.
See,
no, I don't think I had Krang. I don't think I had Krang either, for whatever reason.
Dan, didn't you go see the Turtles film at the cinema?
I think I did. I think that's the one that I went with me and Clandy for, where it came in and it was just the opening bit in the sewers.
Right.
So
I watched it on video myself.
The rescue April O'Neil first, don't they, in the movie? Then I think you see the bit in the sewer, so we missed that opening bit. But yeah, I did go to the cinema to see it.
Yeah.
See, I think we're all in the same boat, aren't we? We all watched the cartoon then the film. So
yeah.
It was like that was our earliest introduction to the Turtles and stuff. So, and I remember we used to have a VHS with a couple of episodes on.
Oh, I wore the movie. I wore the VHS on like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was my parents and my brothers and sisters had to be sick of Batman and Ninja Turtles because it was once I got those 2 VHSs, and I know some of the kids listening are like, what the hell is a VHS? Who's this? What's this old guy talking about? But I wore the crap out of those 2 VHSs, and I swear to God, like I said, my brothers and sister, my brother and sister and my parents probably got sick. Like, all right, enough of this. How many times can you watch it? But just so everybody knows, I have the Blu-rays now, so there. How about that?
I have a DVD with 3 episodes of the original series on. I think I got it from my little boy to watch it. Turtle Tracks, Enter the Shredder, and a thing about rats. I seem to remember Enter the Shredder. That sounds really familiar.
Was the Rats one with the Rat King or something? Was it called Rat King? What was his name?
There was something like that one.
I think there is a Rat King. I think you're right. Yeah.
Hope I'm not getting it totally wrong. There was some guy screaming at.
Somebody they'll correct us for sure.
It's not. It's this. So, might as well move on to the series actually. So the series debuted in December 1987. And it was only supposed to be a 5-part miniseries, but then they extended it to 13 episodes. And it ran from 1987 to 1996, and it lasted 196 episodes.
So much for a 5-episode miniseries.
I know, it went on forever, didn't it? But 193 episodes spanning, from 87 to 96, that's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
I mean, the only time you get those numbers nowadays is if you're on the CW. Right?
That's because and you call Supernatural.
Yeah, because they don't cancel nothing, right? But yeah, that's an insane number of episodes. I mean, that's crazy.
I always remember when
you look at something, isn't it like He-Man or something like that's got a ridiculous number as well, is it?
Yeah, I think it has. I don't think it's got that many though. I don't think it's got.
No, because He-Man I think lasted 3 years, the series.
Yeah, and it got rebooted a couple of times as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
But I always remember one of the things I always remember about the cartoon is that Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince was Shredder.
It's shocked. When I found that out, I was so shocked.
He's unbelievable, isn't it?
He-Man had 130 episodes.
Yeah, there you go. They don't want as many.
Wow, how many episodes did they do a season for 3 years?
It says number of seasons 2, 130 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think things used to run in seasons back then, did they? I mean, they used to just be on. If they were on.
They did one season must have been 60 episodes. The other one was 70. I was like, all right.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. Insane. But yeah, so that was obviously a very successful cartoon, and I used to just watch it like crazy when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think that's probably what a lot of my Turtles knowledge when I was a kid came from, was probably from the cartoon more than anything else.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. So, what we'll do is we'll move on to Turtles 1990 and we'll swing back to other cartoons. I've got some notes on that, but
yeah.
So Turtles 1990, which obviously we all love, don't we?
Oh, it's fantastic, yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned Batman because I think there's kind of similarities in this film and the Batman film.
Oh,
kind of feel a bit similar, don't they?
Yeah, tone, yeah. I mean, I would even venture to say that this had a little bit more slightly even more serious, I think it was.
Oh, I agree, yeah. I totally agree.
If you can believe it.
Yeah. Maybe it's because they didn't have a villain like Jack Nicholson running around.
Yeah, well, and that's part of it, yeah. Because
yeah.
that's one of my I mean, not to get off track, but that's one of my like I love Jack Nicholson's Joker, but he was, to me, like, he never scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
His Joker, whereas
no.
you know, every other Heath Ledger certainly did scare. You know, even as an adult, made me uneasy and scared the crap out of me. So there's a difference, yeah. But Shredder was, you know, we'll get into Shredder when we get there. But
yeah.
Just to update you as well, Thundercats also had 130 episodes.
Oh wow.
Well, that's insane, and I love that one too. Jeez.
Well, I will tell you now. You know,
our childhoods were great. Never the crap they got nowadays.
Well, what I tend to find is I go back and the theme tune comes on. You're like, oh, I love the 80s theme tunes, 90s theme tunes. They're great.
Oh yeah.
And then the episode starts and you're like, how did I used to watch this?
Like Jason the Wheeled Warriors, that had a hell of a theme tune. If you remember that one.
I don't even know what that show is, but
obviously Mask as well.
Right, Adam, Google it when you get off the. So, interesting thing about this film is it didn't actually have a distributor at first, and it got turned down by Walt Disney, Columbia, MGM, Orion, Paramount, and Warner Brothers, and it got picked up by New Line, which isn't a shock because New Line were kind of like the people they did the Elm Street series and stuff, so they'd take anything basically. Yeah. It's crazy to think it started without a distributor.
Yeah, so it's almost like an independent film, kind of.
Yeah. And obviously, all those studios afterwards must have been like, why didn't we buy it? Because on a budget of $13.5 million, it made $202 million worldwide in 1990 money. That is a lot of dollar.
But how in the hell, like, here's what, just hearing that 13, I don't know what that would be today, but 13 million. How do you make this for 13? I mean,
well, how expensive must it have been to do the puppeteering? Because they got the Jim Henson Company in, didn't they?
Yeah.
Which sadly this was the last film he ever worked on as well. Sadly.
Yeah.
But it was the 9th highest grossing film of 1990.
Wow.
So it did well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the guy who directed it, Steve Barron, he directed music videos before this, like Aha's Take On Me. He did a video for that.
Oh, yeah.
Which obviously is a really good music video. So he knew how to edit, didn't he, at least?
and that's why I say, see, whenever, like, this brings up I'm glad you brought this up, because whenever I see somebody, you know, a new, like a unknown director gets chosen for something, you know, one of these franchise pictures, and especially if he's a music video director, like, never judge based on that, because they could turn out something like this where, you know, it's quality. I mean, the guy clearly had a sense and knew what he was doing. So never. That's why I never judge when it's a new director or somebody with a music video background, commercial background. Never judge that. That's, to me, experience is experience, and the more you can get, the better. Whatever you have, you know.
And you've got to start somewhere.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And it's like, you look at like Richard Donner. I mean, he made The Omen, which was a smash hit, but I won't look at it, a guy who directed The Omen and think, oh yeah, I'll get him to direct Superman.
Yeah.
And then, you know, giving him all that money.
And what did Christopher Nolan do? The following, it's like, okay, yeah, you're gonna hand your $1 billion franchise to this guy? Like, really?
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah. So I mean, never judge. That's what this is. You know, Turtles is an example. Never judge a guy based on just because he's a director of music videos or what have you.
So, I thought we could just talk about the film a little bit. I mean, I think the opening scene is like one of the best opening scenes to any film I've ever seen, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I forgot how good it was, you know, when they rescue April O'Neil.
Yeah.
And it's really cleverly edited and stuff, and like, because you don't quite see him at first, do you?
Yeah, it's very hidden, and I guess the word to use is atmospheric. Like, it's like the way it was shot, they really bring you into this world, and it's like, what, you know, they really, I think, the way they did it really capitalized on the ninja aspect of the Turtles.
Well, Dave, I think the fight scenes were really good, and it's like, how did they do the fight scenes in those suits?
No, the fight scenes were very good. You know, coming from somebody who actually, again, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but somebody that actually does martial arts. Even watching them back, you know, this day and age, you can appreciate. Oh wow, you know, they actually got some good fight choreographers boarding this thing, which is good. Which I appreciate. When there's a good fight scene, because I'm in it, I appreciate the work that good choreographers have done. So
yeah.
That's what I was saying though before, wasn't it? About they took it seriously, and I mean in this one they used the weapons for a start off. So
We're
taking it. But the action scenes are really, really good.
Yeah,
really
you know what?
Go on, sorry.
No, you know what really shocked me was, I mean, I'm jumping ahead, but the scene with Raphael when he gets.
Well, I was just going to say, do you know? I feel like Raphael's like the lead of the film in a sense, from the Turtles' perspective. I think he's the one who gets like the best character arc of the Turtles.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but he's pretty. Yeah. I mean, the character's pretty awesome. Like his aggression and his anger issues.
Yeah, he's a bit of a hothead.
It just works. Like, but it works because he's like the Wolverine of the group. If that makes sense.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good example.
Bit of an outcast, isn't he? Really.
Yeah.
In some sense.
But yeah, that scene where he gets mugged by the foot, right? The clan. That was really watching as a kid, and even now, that's some powerful imagery that they there, and the turtles' reactions, and surprisingly for guys in suits and puppeteering and all that, it really pulls. There are some scenes where they manage to pull your emotions, which is impressive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, especially in the scenes with Splinter, where Splinter's been captured, and I just want to say actually that Splinter, the puppeteering work on Splinter, I think is absolutely incredible in this film.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
he looks absolutely fantastic. Which I don't know if you've ever seen what it looks like in the live action TV series, but it's like night and day.
I remember seeing that, but I don't remember it.
Oh, you are lucky.
Maybe I blocked it out.
I've got some notes about it, so we'll touch on it briefly, but we won't stick around it too long.
I think that's all credit to the Jim Henson company in it, and I cannot wait for them to do. I believe they are involved in the Dark Crystal TV series for Netflix. Is that right?
Yeah, they will, because they did Dark Crystal originally, didn't they?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm never sure whether I like Dark Crystal or not, because it's kind of a bit freaky, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad they're getting some work, because puppeteering is not as as popular as it was.
Yeah, and it's got Netflix money behind it, so it should be pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that. I'm actually just gonna have a look now just to make sure they are.
Yeah.
Now, have you watched it recently, the Turtles movie, Adam? Did you watch it before we recorded or anything?
I did. I watched it. I think it was last week, because we were supposed to do this last week. So
did you notice Sam Rockwell was in it? Because I never knew that until I watched it recently.
All I can say was, now that you mentioned who it is, like after I saw the credits, I'm like, but during the movie, I'm like, this guy looks familiar. Who is this guy?
Yeah. I think he only one of that gang that had 3 lines, didn't he?
Yeah. See, I remember, I wanted to orchestrate a thing where I could only I could watch them all. But I just didn't have the time to watch every.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do the first one. I'll do part of the second one, and then the 2 new ones, right? That's how I did it. But yeah, but no, it. That was surprising when that realization came. I was like, oh.
But he looks exactly like he looks now, so it's a bit like
but it's just
aged.
It's one of those guys. Maybe he's a Scientologist. Who knows?
He's a time traveler.
Yeah. And the TARDIS is around here somewhere.
And what do you guys think to the Shredder in the film? Do you like Shredder in the film?
Yeah, I like him. I think he's good in it. I think I can't. The trouble is, I watched it not that long back, so I didn't actually watch it again, and I can't remember him properly. But am I right in thinking it is the same guy in the second one, or did they change him?
No, they changed him.
Did they?
Yeah.
Don't you see him more in the second one as well than you do in the first one?
Yeah, he's a bit more. He's in his proper cartoon costumes, aren't he?
Yeah, and to me that is a good thing. I don't like when they bring him out of it. I believe that's just in the second one, isn't it? They do that.
Yeah, no, I like the fact that he was I think you alluded to. He was more of a shadowy figure in this one. Behind the scenes, and that just adds to the mystique of and the build-up of the character.
Kind of almost scary in a sense, isn't he, in this?
Oh, very much. Because look at his. Look at his outfit. That's imposing. It looks dangerous. It looks like it could hurt you, right? So, And then that, of course, he had the big moment, the final confrontation with Splinter, right? So
yeah. What did you think to him changing Splinter's origin from the cartoon? Because obviously in the cartoon he's a human that turns into a rat, isn't he? Where in this he's a rat.
He was owned by a human.
He was owned by a human and gets mutated into a giant rat, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the reasoning behind the change. Like, to me, but
yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't care. Like, it's like, all right.
No, I didn't even know.
See, I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this. It's live action.
You know, we brought up Master of the Universe earlier. I kind of see some similarities in the films. In that they made these like changes, like the aspect with the kid. It was like you follow the kid throughout the film, don't you? I remember when I saw him and I thought, I remember as a kid wanting to punch his face. It sounds awful.
Yeah. He was an annoying kid.
But it's like you think about those like little changes, and I almost feel like it's almost like what they would have done in a canon movie in a sense, but they actually did a better job of it.
Yeah, imagine if you had some money and like. If you give a shit, I mean, this is what we had.
Yeah.
And that's me saying that. Look, I understand it's not the best movie. It's not going to win any awards. But I love the Masters of the Universe movie.
You're not going to get a disagreement, so yeah, mate. So.
as understanding that, oh boy, there's problems, but I still love it.
One of the things I love about the Masters of the Universe movie, and I said the same for this Turtles movie, is the music. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And that what we spoke before, I don't know Bobby about. I'm always saying when the music's good, it's amazing how much more I enjoy a film, and how I tend to find when the music's great.
You're talking about the score though, right? You're not talking.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
You're not talking about the Turtles rap at the end.
I love that Turtles rap.
But no, that was good stuff too. But the score,
yeah.
I think music is so, at least in the most of the Twitterverse or whatever we have nowadays. Like the musical component of the film, the score is so under discussed and undervalued. It
can make or break a film.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I think some films that could have been better if not for the bad score sometimes, and vice versa. Yeah. You can have a great score and it's not like a great film.
Yeah.
Superman Returns. Sorry.
Speaking of annoying kids, that one, oh boy.
Oh god, yeah.
I was like, keep the garbage can in your head, kid. You're better off.
So, in this film, Leonardo's the leader of the Turtles, isn't he, as he was in the cartoon? Yeah. That's very much so. So why does the Turtles rap say Raphael's the leader? Like, if you ever noticed that. There's like a line.
Yeah, I think they just got it wrong, didn't they?
Yeah, maybe he just didn't give it.
I'll tell you another thing, we were talking about, like, it's quite dark and serious, this film. The comedy is actually really funny in it as well.
Yeah, it is.
And it still makes me laugh. Michelangelo is superb in it.
And it's well placed. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
It's not shoved down your throat. It's the appropriate scenes, and it really, like, it sort of brings the right amount of levity when you need it after, like, a tense moment or whatever, so... I think you're bang on it. Michelangelo, I mean, look, he was never my favorite turtle, but I enjoy him and I like it. I like his. Yeah. He is the audience member, like the child audience member watching it. That's who he represents.
Yeah.
He's their gateway into the world, and for that purpose, he's an amazing character.
Yeah. So, do you both think the film's aged well?
I do.
Absolutely, yeah.
I do as well, yeah.
I always think a thing like this though, when you've got a bit of nostalgia in there, it does help. Because in terms of everything, the score and the acting and the fight scenes and everything, that's all well done. But you can't look at it like somebody today would look at it, because it don't look that old, because you know what it looked like back then.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'd be interested to see somebody's take on it if they watched it now and they haven't seen it before.
But it's funny you say that, because I remember I let my nephews watch it. Not the last time I watched it, but before.
Yeah.
And so my nephews now are, one of them is 12. Yeah, he's going to be 12. And the other one is 9, going on 10. So I let them watch it, and they loved it.
Oh, great.
And this coming from, like, they've seen the most recent two.
Yeah. What did they think of the most recent two?
Well, they like those as well, but they were fascinated by the first one. When they saw, they're like, oh wow, and they were asking me, well, how come they're shorter than the new ones, and and I had to explain, well, that was a whole. I mean, we'll get there when we get there, but so I had to kind of explain that to them, but they loved it. They thought it was they really enjoyed themselves. So to me, that's my test. I haven't shown them Masters of the Universe yet. But then again, they haven't seen the cartoon, so I'm wondering. I don't know how to broach that. Should I show them the cartoon first and all the awesome things in the cartoon, or do I show them the movie first with some of the stuff from the cartoon that's missing, and then I haven't found that. Okay, which way am I going to broach this? But Ninja Turtles, I could say especially the first one, they loved.
Right, so I'll just touch briefly on the other animated series. I won't go in depth about them, but there was a 2-part OVA that was made in 1996, I believe. Yep. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce it because I think it was like an anime thing. Looks like 2-parter, both 25 minutes. I don't know what it was for. I don't know if it was like a special or something, but yeah, I think it looks like it was created to advertise some toys. That was it, right? Okay.
Well, if it's anime, I can say I haven't seen it. I'm not the biggest.
I don't think it was anime actually. I think it was it was done in Japan, but I think it looked like the Turtles. But they were created just 2 parts just to sell some toys, basically. Yeah. And then there was what the class is the second animated series from 2003 to 2009. That lasted 156 episodes, which I'm shocked about. I didn't know it lasted that long. Uh-huh. And they also got a movie called Turtles Forever.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, that. I've got that in front of me now. That's a really, really good film.
The 2003 series is the one that because it's technically the quote-unquote second animated series, right? I think it was on the WB or whatever it was at the time.
Yeah, I think that's right, yeah. The CW4 Kids block, it says here, so that must have been.
Oh, so it must have been what was the CW then? Yeah, I guess. But what I sort of really noticed about that show, it had a darker, edgier tinge to it, where it was still kid friendly, but it was darker and edgier in places, and I think it really mirrored the original comics more so than the '86 cartoon.
So the 86 cartoon, they didn't even use the weapons, did they? Used to find really random ways of beating the bad guys.
Yeah, so I really love that 2003. I mean, I'll always have a nostalgic soft spot for that 86 series, but that 2003 series, to me, when I think of the Turtles, that's like, if I use the Twitter terminology, how people say my Batman, my Superman, my this. If I had to, there would be my Turtles, if you will.
Just shoving it on now on YouTube so I can watch it.
Yeah, it's
just so I can see what, because it's the same, because that's what you're on about your Turtles Forever, you said, because that's got the new ones and the old ones in it, and then it's got the comic book.
It was almost like a crossover, wasn't it? In a sense.
It's really good. It's brilliant. Like,
my son loves that as well.
If there was a Twitter meme for, like, how they have those memes where Marvel created the best crossover and then they have the wraparound of the Avengers scene where they all form, and they're like, this is the greatest crossover in the history of anything. I'd be like, oh, yeah, hold my beer and watch this.
There was a third animated series which ran from 2012 to 2017. That was 124 episodes, which seems to be. They all seem to last long.
The computer animated one, correct? Yeah.
Oh,
the CGI.
Yeah, CGI. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
My son watched that series.
Sorry.
If I can make a quick comment on that, I was hesitant when I heard about it, and I'm like, I don't know what this is gonna look like. I came around to it in the end. Like, I mean, I didn't watch every single episode, obviously, but when I did tune in, I'm like, it's pretty good. I came to enjoy it. So initially, my skepticism, I came around, and it kind of, that version of the show mirrors my skepticism of Batman Brave and the Bold, and then I eventually came around to that. So yeah, I'll admit I'll eat some crow. I was hesitant in when that started, but I came around.
How many episodes did you say this was, Bob?
126 according to Wikipedia.
It says 124. I don't think I'm reading, but somewhere around.
Oh, if it's Wikipedia, it might be wrong, to be honest. You know what Wikipedia is like.
This is a Google thing, I think.
Huh?
So. Anyway, it don't matter. I thought you said it was short. Yeah. That's all. So.
No. And then the latest episode is Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I've seen some of this and they look a bit square looking. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I'm not hot on this animation.
Yeah, I actually came across this the other day and I thought the same thing. If I don't like the animation on something, I can't watch it.
I'm 100% with you, Dan. To me, this should go without saying, but when you're dealing with an animated series, if the animation doesn't grab me, then I'm out. And it's just like I look at it and I think, okay, my nephews can draw better than this. That's a problem.
It kind of like sticks out a bit like Batman Brave and the Bold, where they're not really trying to do great animation, if that makes sense. It's more about, it looks a bit wacky on the pictures I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's almost like they've come up with it's probably easier to do as well, like the way they've done it.
Yeah, but my problem is, cartoons of the 80s should not look better than the 2019 animation.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
I think there's a lot of lazy animation, like the new DuckTales series. It looks so bad.
But it's all done on computers, isn't it? That's the problem.
I don't think it's that, because you still have to draw it and then put it on the computer. Because they scan it in, don't they? As far I think
once you've got the model, you can design it to do things, so that it just does. It's easier to animate in that regard.
Yeah.
So
I haven't caught up. I haven't sat through a full episode.
I've seen a bit of it, but
5 minutes and I'm done.
Why are the heads so weirdly shaped?
I think I might try and get that Turtles 2003. I really like the animation.
Track it down. It's great stuff, man.
Will do.
So we'll dive back into the live action films now then. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze, coming a year after the first film, which made 202 million. So why they listened to parents and decided to tone it down, I don't know, because the last film did so well.
Yeah, a bit detrimental to it as well, wasn't it?
But this had a budget of 25 million and made 78.6 million US. I don't have the worldwide number.
Well, they still made a profit, but
so it still did quite well, but it just based on the first movie, which was a phenomenal success. This is more like a moderate success, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So and obviously this one got mixed reviews, and I think probably started the downward trend of the film series, which after the first film was so good.
Mm-hmm.
So and they weren't allowed to use Bebop and Rocksteady either because the creators.
No, that was a bit detrimental to it as well.
Yeah, because instead we got who was
Toga and Reza.
Yeah. Oh God. Why?
And we also got the Ninja Rap by Vanilla Ice.
Okay, that I enjoyed. As a kid, I enjoyed it.
And did you know who played Super Shredder when he was?
Yes, Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know much trivia, but a couple of things. Diesel.
Yeah. Big Daddy Cole.
Dan, you got to insert the horn, the Diesel theme in this version.
So it was financially successful, and it was the 13th highest grossing film domestically in its year of release. So that's not too bad.
If you watch it, it actually starts quite well. And I seem to remember really enjoying the music again. And the guy who, he was a turtle, wasn't he, in the first one? They're really impressed.
Yeah, he did stunts awesome or fight scenes.
Yeah, and his martial arts is terrific.
So
he starts off so well, and you think, oh man, we're on for this. Because when you go back and watch somebody, I don't know about you, but I don't always remember it that well. And then when I went back, I'm like, oh, she's really good. And then after that, it just falls away big time.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed it to a degree. Don't get me wrong. It's not Batman and Robin where I hate this.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. But it's just, to me, when I'm watching it, I'm like, they're fighting with salami, and I'm like, all right. I mean, it's funny. But I'd rather eat that. What are you gonna? You have weapons, for the love of God! Like they're in your shell. Take your weapons out. Stab somebody. Hit somebody over the head with a.
I do really like that bit though, where Donatello's pretending to be like that clown and he's swinging side to side.
Yeah.
Do you remember at the beginning? That does make me laugh every time I watch it.
Yeah. But again, it was one of those where it was like, let's tone it down, and they went too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made it too
They
kiddish.
always do. They did it with Batman, didn't they? And they've done it with this.
Well, it's very similar. I also compared RoboCop. They did it with RoboCop, didn't they? As well, they kind of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ruin that franchise.
But RoboCop's rated R. How do you tone that down?
Oh, I know.
I don't understand. I don't understand. What parent is saying, "Oh, well, you got to tone down RoboCop because my kid, it's rated R."
Whose idea was it to create a RoboCop cartoon? Because that was what made it.
Well, that's
the toy successful, wasn't it? And that's when they were like, "Oh, well, we'll make it so kids can watch it."
Yeah. That was where the big problems were. But kids love a bit of violence. Give them a violent show.
They're all sneaking into movies. Nowadays, look, there's so much crap on TV nowadays. Like, real life is worse than anything they could see in a movie.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Nowadays, like, come on.
Watch the news.
Exactly. That's more traumatizing than anything else.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is tame compared to the news.
Yeah.
So on the back of that, we then go to what I would consider the Batman and Robin of the franchise.
Oh, Christ.
But this is the one in it. Go on, sorry, I'll let you go.
It didn't even get a subtitle. That's how bad it was. It's just called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, whereas the previous film was called The Secret of the Ooze.
It should have been called This One's Gonna Suck.
You know, the budget for this, though, the budget for the second one was bigger than the first one. The budget for the third one was still bigger than the first one, but not as
21
big as the
million.
second. And yet the first one still looks miles better.
And the turtles look like crap in the third.
Yeah, well, they didn't use Jim Henson Company, did they?
No.
Out, and it was the biggest mistake they made because it looks so robotic when their mouths move.
Yeah.
Completely ruined the entire thing because you've got to believe that's a turtle, and you're looking at it thinking, well, that's obviously robotics.
Well, this film had 42.2 million from a 21 million budget, so although it did twice its budget,
doubled, yeah.
I believe it started quite well, didn't it? And then word of mouth got around that it was terrible, and then it dropped off.
Well,
because I think it went to one, didn't it, in America?
Yeah, the studio kept the film away from critics before release, which is always a bad sign, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. Here's where they had something, if they would have followed through the right way. And this goes to my whole. I'll save what I'm going to say for my hopes for the future, especially the live action. But when they got transported to feudal Japan, I'm like, okay, they're on to something here. But they didn't follow through with it. So, and I'll get into that later on. But yeah.
Yeah. So. From there, we got TMNT, which was the animated film, which budget of 34 million and made 95.6 million. I'd say that's a pretty big hit for an animated film.
It seems to me that the animated ones are what kind of saved it after the Turtles movies started to go downhill.
Well, this one is actually considered a sequel to the originals, isn't it, as well?
It falls in line very much with the first one in terms of the tone.
Yeah, because they've started separate, right? Like they're separated from each other, correct? Like they're off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
their own little thing.
Leonardo's kind of out in the mountains, and he meditating and all that sort of stuff.
Bob, Steve, whatever you want to call it. Do you have the voice cast handy for this one?
I don't, but I know.
I do. I've got it handy. Yeah, Chris Evans, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Mako, Kevin Smith, Patrick Stewart, Zhang Ziyi, and Lawrence Fishburne narrates. That's one hell of a cast list. That.
Isn't Nolan North one of the Turtles as well?
It doesn't say it on the. I've only got it on the back of the case. Sorry, I'm not.
Okay, so two things. Patrick Stewart was Splinter, correct?
I can't remember. I'll tell you what. I'll get it up on IMDb.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I think you're right.
And to me, if you can get Professor Xavier as Splinter, I mean that's genius.
Yeah.
And also. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Splinter was Mako, which is the guy I know he is now. It's him out of Conan the Barbarian.
Apparently, Patrick Stewart plays someone called Winters, isn't it?
Oh, then I'm mistaken. But
it's Mako plays Splinter. Now, if you wear Mako in Conan the Barbarian, you if you heard his voice, you'd be like, that suits Splinter perfectly.
Nolan North, wasn't it? He was Raphael. I was right.
Yeah. Okay. Night Watcher.
But one thing I can't mistake is the fact that Sarah Michelle Gellar was April O'Neil.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar is Buffy, and I used to love Buffy. I mean, that was my going back. Buffy was my Smallville back in the day. Okay, so right, so and naturally, I'm just gonna come out and say it. She's one of my multiverse wives because I know he's probably waiting with bated breath to find out she's one. And I don't have an Earth, so you're gonna have to wait for that one. But she is one of them. She's on the list. But I had to point that out. But yeah, I love this movie. The animation was great. I love it, like you said, that it's sort of a sequel to the original.
Yeah.
I mean, this is if I had a choice of introducing, aside from the original in the 2003, if I had to recommend you show a kid an animated Turtles, this would be one of them. Don't show him the new one. Show him this.
Yeah.
This was brilliant.
Yeah, it's very good. I might actually watch it tomorrow.
and it's a great way to keep the franchise going while you figure out what's next or what was next for the.
Well, what they seem to do with this is every time a cartoon sort of, I presume it fades off in terms of audience, to just do another one. They have a little break and do another one.
Yeah.
Never seems to be off telly Turtles, to be honest.
No, and they're kind of doing that with coming up in the future, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just quickly touch on the TV series, the live action one that was basically. It was basically just like Power Rangers, but with the Turtles. Let's put it that way.
What's this one, sorry?
The live action TV series.
Oh God, yeah. Awful.
They introduced a fifth turtle, a female, Venus de Milo, and apparently she was supposedly in the original thing with all the Ooze fell, but she got something happened and she got lost or something like that. I won't bother reading it. It don't really matter. It only lasted 26 episodes. That's one series, which is not a shock at all.
Just while you're on about episodes, and sorry to interrupt you, but do you know the 2003 Turtle series lasted 156 episodes?
Unbelievable.
That's more than He-Man and Thundercats.
That's mental, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, anyway. Go on.
Well, I was just going to say they actually did have a crossover with the Turtles as well. with the Power Rangers as well.
Did they?
Yeah. So I told you.
It was obviously there's some of the same people definitely worked on both those TV series.
Funny enough, I kind of remember that because I used to be a Power Rangers fan. I still am of the original team, but like the subsects now, like what they're doing now, I have no idea. But the core team, I was a fan of. So, but for some reason, I saw this on TV, and I'm like, "What is this insanity?" And and I still can't. I don't know how to explain it to you. Like what I saw, I still have not been able to process all these years later. Which is probably why I don't remember the actual Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action series.
It's on Netflix in UK.
Probably blocked it out.
I put it on the other day.
Here, but no, yeah.
I put it on the other day just to have a quick look, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so. As soon as it starts, it's so bad.
Right, so let's move on to the Bayverse ones, and then we'll do some end bits to wrap up. So. You don't mind me calling it Bayverse, do you? That's not the thing to call it. It's from the Michael Bay production company.
That's fine.
Well, it's got his stamp all over it, even though he didn't direct it.
Yeah. I won't be shocked if it turned out he secretly did. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014 had a budget of $125 million and it made $493.3 million worldwide. So that's a pretty phenomenal success.
Yeah.
I remember before it came out, there were a lot of controversy because there was a script, another script where it turned out there were aliens.
Yeah.
They weren't actually made from toxic waste and that, but not toxic waste. The serum stuff, whatever it is. The Ooze, that's it. Yeah. But I think back, I think that probably wouldn't have been. That probably would have liked that. It would have been a different take on it. I think I'd be okay with it. What's your guys' thoughts on that? That they were basically going to be aliens and not.
I wouldn't have been keen on that. I'd have been.
But then, my thing is, if you make them aliens, they're not mutant Ninja Turtles. Like it.
No.
Then they're teenage alien turtles.
That's true. So
you're like there's making subtle changes, but then there's changing the core concept. And
I almost wonder if it was like an early thing just to kind of.
I fully believe that they were intending to do this. But then, when they saw the shitstorm online, they're like, "Okay, we better not do that." And I'm glad they didn't because I quite like. I quite like this movie. I do. I thought that the actors, the voice work was good and they did motion capture. So I thought that's an interesting way to go about it. The design, like the look of the turtles themselves in terms of design and CGI, I thought was fine. I thought it looked solid. My issue came. By the way, I'll even defend her. I enjoy. Look, I like Megan Fox as April O'Neil. I'll say that. She was a better, and I'll use this analogy. She's a better reporter than both Kate Bosworth as Lois Lane and Margot Kidder, in my opinion, because I don't like Margot Kidder all that much. I think she's great. So there's that. So anybody that's going to bash on Multiverse Earth Wife #3, sit on it and be quiet, because it's not going to happen. I enjoyed her performance in this. But having said that, I have two issues with this movie. Two issues that really bug me. One is the fact that they're 7 foot tall, or however length they are. Because to me, I didn't even care that if they were slightly taller than the originals, fine. But we're talking about, they're borderline basketball players here. And how do you look? They're already teenage mutant turtles now. How, you couple that with the ninja aspect. Where's the stealth there? I'm sorry, they're too tall for stealth. I'm not saying a 7 foot man can't be a ninja, but when you add the mutant turtle onto it, it becomes problematic. The size.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Michelangelo as well. Isn't Michelangelo quite a bit smaller than the others? I'm actually just looking on the back case. He looks small.
One of them is.
He is, but he's still big.
I get what you're saying. How can you be that big and remain in the shadows?
Yeah, how can you be inconspicuous? And so
yeah.
There's that, and then there's the part about which really bothered me. I can suspend disbelief till the cows come home for certain franchises, of course. But as somebody, a practitioner of the martial arts, when I saw that both Splinter and the Ninja Turtles essentially learned martial arts from a picture book,
Karate Kid,
I was supremely insulted, because the 25 years I've been doing martial arts, I felt like, well, what was the point? I could have just watched a Tai Bo video.
That's what he does in Karate Kid at the beginning, isn't he? In Karate Kid, he starts learning from a book, and Mr. Miyagi says something to him, doesn't he, about you won't learn it from a book or something.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah,
exactly. Mr. Miyagi.
That was out way before this movie.
Yeah. So those two things pissed me off the most.
Yeah. So do you like it, Dan?
I hated this movie when it first came out. To me, it wasn't my Turtles. It was like, I couldn't stand what they did to Donatello. I was like, yeah, he's into gadgets and stuff, but the glasses and all that were really stereotype geekiness, and I hated it.
Yeah, I kind of get that, yeah.
And even to this day, I still don't like what they did to Donatello. I thought, your typical Michael Bay, so this, the action was pretty good. But on rewatches, I've sort of come more onto it, and I actually quite like it now. And I do like Michelangelo, and it does make me laugh. And I think they got Raphael right again as well, because I'm not sure he's that hard to get right. He's moody, he can't. I think in this they go a bit more into him wanting to be the leader, really, don't they? Is it this one?
I can't remember that.
There is a little bit of animosity, between him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I've softened to it and learnt to enjoy it for what it is. It's a Michael Bay-esque movie. It's about just some good action scenes, bit of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I quite like it now. It did grow on me, but I actually pull it, and maybe controversially, I know we're going to go into that in a minute, but I actually don't think this is as good as the sequel.
Right.
And that, by the way, what I loved about Raphael was the Batman reference when he's he's interrogating that I guess one of the ninjas, and they're like, oh, I think Michelangelo said it. He's doing his Batman voice again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
See, I think it's okay, this movie. I don't love it, don't hate it. It's just kind of like okay, and like you, Dan, it's not my Turtles. I think that's probably fair. I think Will Arnett's probably the best thing in it, actually. which
is
usually the best thing in everything, isn't it? I usually find so.
I will say as well, I agree with Adam on Megan Fox. I actually think this part suits her.
Oh yeah, I do. I've got no problem with
her.
She
comes across as that kind of, woman who's not going to take any crap off of anybody. And I think it's really suited her down to the ground.
I totally agree, yeah. I thought she was absolutely fine. So, the sequel, Out of the Shadows, was released in 2016, and that was on a budget of 135 million, so it's 10 million more than the previous. But it made 245.6 million, so that's a massive drop from the first film's takings. So, what are your thoughts on the sequel?
I remember when this came out, and I watched it and thought I couldn't believe that it didn't do as well as the first one. And I think it's based on what people actually thought of the first one, because you always get that where people go see it. A lot of people go see it, and there's always that part of the audience that don't like it, so they don't go see the next one.
Oh yeah,
I actually think it got better. I think the second one is a better film than the first one. I can't remember why, but I do know we got Bebop and Rocksteady at long last, so that was that was a good thing for me. So I enjoyed that about
but why was one of them Sheamus? The wrestler?
Yeah, but you know what, he works.
No, he does. I was just joking.
But you get to see him at one point, don't you? Don't they?
Oh, yeah, because they're human at first. They get turned by Shredder, don't they?
Yeah, Baxter Stockman, and I, working for Shredder. But what I'm with Dan. I really like this movie. I enjoy it slightly more than the first. It just because they pulled more things from the lore. You know what I mean? Like, so we got Bebop and Rocksteady. They look great as well, and the interactions between Bebop, Rocksteady, and the Turtles I thought was spot on. They kind of went a little bit Super Shredder with this as well, in a way.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
they kind of revisited that, but I liked also the. I wish they would have done it sooner, because here's what happens. This is the problem when you save everything for the next one. Was the stuff with Krang.
Yeah.
Because when I saw that a little bit, I was like, "Ooh, looks
like
they're
a bit freaky."
Yeah, and I'm like, they could actually if they do another one, get Krang spot on, right?
Yeah.
If they can go into that alien world and all that stuff, if they can get there, take the Turtles there, that would be fascinating. But we never got a part 3. But the one issue I had, and people are going to be surprised, was Stephen Amell's Casey Jones. Like, I'm sorry. Whenever I see him, all I could think of was Arrow. And he was so relaxed and laid back. I didn't buy the Casey Jones. I didn't buy him as that character. And
he plays the part. He always plays the notes first.
But he's playing. Like, I thought it was going to be okay. He's going to play Arrow playing Casey Jones. And I would have been fine with that. That would have been closer to actual Casey Jones. Because what we got here was just Stephen Amell in a hockey mask, with a hockey stick.
It reminded me of, like, is it season 4 Arrow, when he was a bit happier and stuff, and
yeah.
And it was kind of like not as good. You were like, this is lame.
And I hated season 4 of Arrow. I thought it was terrible. So I didn't. That was my one negative from the movie.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah, I think this is a better film than the first one, and I almost feel like maybe they should have made this film in the first place. Yeah. And they might have been in a better position. And I really appreciate that they used the theme on the end credits. And I thought the end credits were absolutely fantastic, actually. So
and
that's just something I wanted to bring up.
Did you notice the part when he goes into the street and you see the kid in the Transformers costume and the Bumblebee and it makes the noise of the...
Yeah.
That was a nice little nod. Yeah.
So, have we got anything else to say on the films, or are we?
Yeah, I was just gonna sort of touch on what Adam said, because I forgot to say it. That was another thing I didn't like about the first one, and the second one as well was Shredder with a Super Shredder with he looked like he had about 1 million knives on his hands. It was like, what are you doing?
I just think that's just kind of trying to raise the stakes, though, isn't it? I don't mind.
Yes, but sometimes they set themselves up by doing that.
Yeah.
They've got to raise it again, and it gets a bit silly.
When you think about it, though, in that movie, what is his name? David Fickner, or however they pronounce the actor. He was basically
the first film.
Yeah, he was basically Shredder. The other guy was just
Well, did you hear about apparently there was reshoots and he was supposed to be Shredder?
Yeah, but then they actually got an Asian actor because there was an uproar.
Yeah, people were mental about Twitter again, didn't they?
Yeah.
The whole Twitter
Twitter is always going mental about something.
Right, so to wrap up, I wanted to ask you some questions. Just a few questions, and then what we'll do is we'll talk about the future of the Turtles briefly, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
So, favourite Casey Jones, which I already know Adam's answer. I can't even pronounce the first guy's name in the first movie.
Yeah.
Elias
Coates or whatever, something like
Coates, yeah. Versus Stephen Amell, who did it better?
Elias Coates, easy. Hands down.
Yeah.
Dan, you agreed, yeah? Right, here's one. Favourite April O'Neil, right? And I'm not don't base this off which one's hotter. So, Judith Hogue. Is it Paige? What's she called? Paige? I've forgotten her name already. I had it written down, but I've...
Paige Trucco, I think. Trucco or something like that. Yeah.
Right, we'll go for that. Or Megan Fox.
I'm going to go Megan Fox because, like I said earlier, I feel this part suits her. And I think she plays it really well. And I know some people might disagree with me, but I honestly do think this suited her.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, this has nothing to do with the fact that she's smoking hot.
Yeah.
And she's one of my multiverse. No, I legitimately, for all the hate that she gets online, I think this part suited her well. She played it like I believe that she was this investigative reporter. I bought it. I bought her hook, line, and sinker, so I'll give it to her. Yeah.
And then, actually, I forgot about this. Travis Hines, who was your co-host, sent us a question in about the first film. And he says, what scene was / still is the most emotional for you guys in the first Turtles?
For me, it would have to be the whole scenario with Raphael when he gets beat up and then them trying to bond over him when he's recovering.
I was going to say that. When he's in the bath as well and he's like out of it, that's kind of a bit upsetting to see in a sense.
Yeah, played that really well.
Those were fantastic,
I apologise to Travis because I forgot about that question until just now. So, last question. I'm gonna ask you your favourite Ninja Turtle, but first of all, I'm gonna read out the poll results. So I did a poll on who's your favourite Ninja Turtle, and we got 65 votes. Leonardo got 22%, Michelangelo got 34%, Raphael got 34%, and Donatello got 10%. So Michelangelo and Raphael were actually tied as most people's favourite turtle on that vote. So who is your favourite turtle?
I'll let you go first, Adam.
All right. Okay. I gotta say Raphael's my favorite, but blue's my favorite color. So Leonardo would be second.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really torn because there's the three for me. No disrespect to Donatello, I like the character, but Michelangelo is the one that makes you laugh. Leonardo is the leader and the responsible hero type. And then you've got the fiery Raphael, who you always kind of gravitate to them characters, I think, and you have some empathy with them as well. To me, though, it's between Leonardo and Michelangelo. I'm going to go for Michelangelo because in all the movies, he always makes me laugh. And I believe in a movie. Not in all cases, because you can have serious movies, but I like a movie that knows when it can throw a joke in there, and I think in most of the films they get that right.
He is a party dude as well, isn't he? So you got See, my favourite's Leonardo because I always gravitate towards like leader characters, which is why I love Superman and Captain America. So, and as a kid, I loved swords, even though I've got no interest in swords now. That was why I loved Leonardo. I remember I used to have the trading cards from the first Turtles movie, and my favourite card was the Leonardo one with it was in the bathroom with him playing with a sword, and I don't think it's actually in the film, but I think it's either from a cutscene or possibly from just a promotional still or something.
Yeah.
So, and that again, my favourite colour is blue as well, so that does add to it. So, mine's Leonardo. So, from there, we'll just talk about the future. There is a reported film coming out, animated film, The Turtles Meet Batman. No, it's Ninja Turtles versus Batman, isn't it, actually?
Is
that
Batman,
right?
Yeah, Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, Batman was always going to go first, wasn't it? Because that's where they sell them. They'll sell the DVDs. So, what do you guys thoughts on this?
I love it, and here's why I love it. Because there's a comic book crossover There's two. Right now, there's 2 volumes, and there's a third coming, I believe, in May or June. But they've done this crossover where, Batman and the Ninja Turtles meet, and this movie is reportedly based on those crossovers. And I gotta be honest with you guys, those 2 volumes are fantastic. They're action packed, but they're also emotional. So, if this movie can capture anything of what the books did, I think we're in for gold. And the animation style, I like the look on it for several fronts. The Turtles resemble the ones from 2003 animated series, and I like that. And Batman has his blue costume with the yellow oval, and we don't see that much, and so I'm down for that. So I'm look, you took 2. Basically, what they did was they took 2 of my favorite franchises from childhood and still to this day. All I can say is take my money. That's all it boils down to.
Dan?
I find the animated style here a little bit funny. I think Raphael looks a bit strange. Donatello looks a bit simple. Leonardo looks quite good, and there's plenty of detail on Batman. It kind of falls in between something I don't like and something I love. So I'll have to see it in action, because to me at the minute, looking at just a still picture, I can't tell whether I'm going to like the animation or not.
And join us next week when Dan is replaced by Adam permanently. I'm joking. I'm really excited for this. I think it'll be interesting. I actually, when I first heard of it, my brain just thought, is it going to be enough for Brave and the Bold? Because I thought Batman Brave and the Bold Scooby-Doo was really good.
Yeah.
So I thought, they're just going to do that again, but they're not. It's like its own thing. So I'm interested to know what kind of tone it's going to take. But judging from the animated style, I think it's probably going to take itself quite seriously.
I'm just going to say, I was just seeing the picture, it shows you all of them together, and there's Batman, Batgirl, and Robin. But there's a picture below of Raphael, and he looks absolutely awesome. He looks like it's completely different. I think that's a distance shot.
Yeah, they do tend to do that sort of thing.
And they always do less animation, but when you look at a closer shot of Raphael, it looks absolutely fantastic. So I am looking forward to it now.
Like I said, what I got to tell you guys, I can't stress this enough, and I know, Steven, you took my recommendation seriously, and you bought that Supergirl being super comic based off my recommendation. If you and Dan, I know I recommend this for you too, because you can always give it to your kid afterwards. But whether it be Comixology or physical copy, track down those 2 volumes. I'll send you guys the links for the 2 books that I'm speaking of. You'll love them. And the movie's based off of this, and I think you guys will absolutely dig these books. So I honestly do. If you want to get excited more for this movie, read those books.
Cool. Is it the same? Is it the same story?
There's the first volume, and then there's the sequel. Right. And now in May they're doing the 3rd part.
All right.
Cool. So moving on from there, we'll finish off with just what do you want to see like the Turtles do now? We want to see like another live action film, and I mean I've heard they are rebooting it, aren't they?
Yeah, there is going to be a new live action movie. Apparently they're planning to start. They're getting everything ready, and they're going to announce a director soon, and I believe they plan on shooting by the end of this year. They start shooting, so the very end.
All right, that's sooner than I thought. Then that. So do you reckon they might do? Do you think it's going to be CGI Turtles again, or do you think they might do some suits or mixture?
Here's. I know it's from the producers of the movie Quiet Place are doing it.
All right. Okay.
So my recommendation is this. Can we get a hybrid of guys in suits, or either guys in suits or the puppeteering with CGI,
kind of similar to the Red Skull in a sense, where he had a bit of makeup on, didn't he? But they did CGI to make it.
So I think a blending of both would be good, because you know what else that worked for? Aquaman.
Yeah.
Aquaman had a crap ton of CGI, but whenever possible, James Wan put guys in suits. So, the trench, he had 3 or 4 guys in suits. Now, then he multiplied them to thousands with CGI. But it was all based off guys in suits. So to me, I think a mix of both would be beneficial.
Yeah.
The other thing I'd like to see is, and I can't stress how good these are enough, look to the IDW comics. There's some great storytelling in there. Use the backstory of the idea of reincarnation, that the Turtles and Master Splinter were once, actual people in feudal Japan back in the day.
All right.
And use that that reincarnation aspect of it.
They might as well do something different now, aren't they?
Yeah. Bring that in play from the comics, because it adds, to me, that aspect of it adds to the conflict between the Turtles and Shredder. And it's something we've never seen of in the films, is the reincarnation aspect.
Yeah.
And so the way I envision it, you could do flashback sequences a la Batman Begins, the way they did it, in that film. And also Man of Steel employed the same kind of aspect. I think it would just add a fresh coat of paint to the mythology, but it would be in keeping with the source material. And it's something they've never done before, and I think they're missing the boat on. So definitely lean towards the IDW comics, because I think they're a great blend of the original conception of the Turtles, which was the darker, edgier stuff, but also the more kid-friendly 86, 87 series. And if there's a blending, I think you have a chance for success, because clearly what we've learned from all these adaptations, readaptations, like Dan said, it seems like there's every couple of years there's a new animated series.
Yeah.
Which inevitably leads to a movie. And it seems like they're going by, the same route with, let's put them back in animation with Batman versus Ninja Turtles. And at the same time, we're going to prep this new live action movie. So, like I said, have a blending of, my whole theme is blend CGI and practical, blend, the comics, the seriousness with the kid friendliness. And so I think if they do that, I think they've got a hit on their hands. And I think release date is key. I think
it always is, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but maybe a packed summertime is not the right course of action for the Turtles. What I would suggest doing is taking cue from Aquaman, release it during the Christmas season on an off year when the Star Wars is not active. So
yeah,
that's what I would do.
See, I'd like to see them use a different villain other than Shredder.
I would too, but they're gonna go, if they're rebooting, they're gonna go back.
Yeah, I mean, you could have it. Maybe they could have him in there, but not be like the main villain.
I think it's one of them, though. If you don't have him in, it's always a little disappointing.
But I think, and that's why I kept mentioning the reincarnation aspect, because it adds so much weight to their conflict.
I just think we've seen Shredder that many times that it's a bit like Lex Luthor with Superman films. It's like, just give us something a bit. Maybe you could have Shredder. Maybe you could build Shredder up to like a third film in a trilogy or a sequel. Kind of like when they did Batman Begins, didn't they? And then the Joker didn't show up till the sequel.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do something like that, so they take on a smaller threat in the first film that establishes the Turtles, and then in the sequel you bring Shredder in. Obviously, then you've got to make sure you get a sequel, but I just think I'd like to see a different villain, personally. Especially when there are others in the cartoons, like the Rat King we mentioned earlier and several others.
I would like to see him go back to what made the 1991 so great, and we talked about before, on TMNT, which two of the best Turtles movies. There's a dark tone to him, and I think you can still do that. I mean, TMNT is still a PG, so you can still do that. It's still aiming for kids.
I think they need to bring that back, because I think they need to realise kids will watch stuff like that. They just obviously need to have a good time.
Well, obviously, with us now, the 1991, we still watch it now and still think it's good.
Yeah.
So if they make another one, you're going to go watch it because you want to see something that's like that. So they need to kind of keep to that for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you guys there. Yeah, definitely.
Right then, I think that's going to wrap us on the Turtles.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's been a good 2-hour chat. Well, an hour of it was probably news and chit chat. Sorry.
Yeah.
The longest podcast ever. We'll blame Adam.
Yeah.
I just finished saying in the opening, my podcast, or off air, my podcast has gotten shorter with my new co-host, and I come on here and I do a long one.
So, Adam, do you want to do social media plugs where we can find you and where people can find your podcasts and all that?
Yeah, so my podcast, I've got two of them, as I mentioned. One of them is Tales from the DC Multiverse, the podcast, which is me and Travis Hines talking about everything DC, from movies to animation to comics. We talk about it all. And you've been on there. Steven/Bob is our international correspondent for that
I love
show.
my title.
Yeah, and then I have Superheroes and Sci-Fi Musings with Adam and Ryan, and my co-host Ryan Hulsman for that one. There we talk about so basically in terms of superheroes, it's anything but DC. And then sci-fi, obviously, you run the gamut from anything from, Terminator to RoboCop to Aliens to whatever have you. We cover it all there. And so those are the two podcasts. I also do weekly columns for Revenge of the Fans, specifically on just the Arrowverse shows, which is called Tales from the DC Multiverse. That's why the podcast has the podcast to differentiate between the two. So I have my articles there. And then if you want to follow me on social media, it's Twitter @Superhero Sci-Fi and Facebook group Tales from the DC Multiverse. If you add us, or if you want to be added there, go there and request to be added, and we'll add you and we'll talk to you there.
That's great. And I can tell you as well, the podcasts are really good, so people should definitely subscribe on the podcast app and Podbean and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's on iTunes as well. So
yeah, iTunes. Well, I think in iTunes the podcast app isn't the same thing.
I think so nowadays.
Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah. If you want to follow us, you can follow us at MBP Movie Pod, and you can leave us a question if you want. If you're Zack Snyder fans and you're upset about anything in this episode, just tweet at Superhero Sci-Fi.
Hey, listen, I'm open to talking with anybody as long as it's respectful. And look, I can agree to disagree, and I don't dislike. Man of Steel is my favorite Superman movie. There, I said it. So, but yeah, cordial discussion. We can agree to disagree. If you're gonna act like a jerk, you're gonna get blocked. It's simple as that.
I was going to follow up with I made a funny just to link it in with the episode, but as well. So yeah, that'll do it for us. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care.
And can I do my exit line?
I've been waiting for this.
I was promised I was going to do it. So here it is. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles forever, from the first pizza slice to the last. So long, everybody.